Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. We are back with another United Daily Live. Hope you guys are all doing well. I was just having to check my laptop there just to see what day it is. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of April. Yes, it is Wednesday, the 22nd of April. And we are 7 years to the day since Robin van Persie scored that hat-trick against Aston Villa to give Manchester United number 20 in that beautiful shirt. 7 years since the day. Can you believe it? We really need to win another title again because those are some great memories. But we haven't won one since, and we need another one in the bag. But we are looking towards a Manchester United team that are hopefully building towards that. And we've had Harry Maguire this week talking about he feels like Manchester United are building towards a team that can ultimately challenge for the Premier League title. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about plenty of potential transfers. As I jumped onto the Twitter and news now and the internet today, looking around, and there's so many news stories popping up in the Athletic, Bleacher Report, all over the gaff. And obviously there's a story regarding Diogo Dalot as well. I wanted to make that one the headline story because I feel like this one is the most headline story out of those, because we've heard about McKola linked to United before. We've heard Grealish, we've heard Sancho be linked to United before. And whilst we'll be giving you those updates later on in the show, I want to talk about Diogo Dalot. Are those bars or are those bars? They were bars. Diogo Dalot at Manchester United came in a reasonably value for money transfer deal. It was just under £20 million for his services, wasn't it? From FC Porto. Came in having had a very good academy career under his belt for both club and country, and making his first team debut for Porto. He came to Manchester United and Jose Mourinho built him up saying he's the best young fullback in the world or in Europe at the time. And he came to Manchester United with a lot of high hopes, settled in a little bit, has done his part, being a good, valuable member of the squad, but he has had a lot of injuries as well. And whilst he's a great player to have around, the emergence of Aaron Wan-Bissaka has obviously meant that he has less game time than necessary. Now with Diogo Dalot, he can play at left back, he can play at right back, he's alright at wing back, and he can play further forward as well, as we saw, going forward in that PSG game, having a shot, going over, yes, but winning the penalty for United, scoring a goal against Tranmere. He has got an eye for a goal, and you'd probably consider him to be a little bit better than Aaron Wan-Bissaka in terms of going forward and attacking. But as a complete fullback and a complete wing back even, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is slightly ahead of him at this moment in time. And the reports that are coming out today saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is willing to sell Diogo Dalot if an offer of around £30 million was to come in for him. Because of Wan-Bissaka's success at right back, he can't promise him much football at right back. Left back isn't his main position, and wing isn't his main position either. And if Manchester United are going to be strengthening in terms of buying someone like Jadon Sancho, you could then see, all right, Daniel James is probably going to be back up to Jadon Sancho and also be used on the left. But where is Diogo Dalot going to come into that mix? And is he good enough at wing to occupy a space? Now, I personally feel I'd like to keep Diogo Dalot in the squad, see what he can do, see if he can improve, because I feel like he has got some very good potential. But when you look at the kind of transfer window that's coming up for Manchester United, you wouldn't be surprised if this was the case. Simply because United can raise a fair bit of money, 30 to 35 million pounds, whatever it is. You can raise a fair bit of money because of the quality of the player, the potential of the player, and the age of the player. So you can get a decent fee in for him. And then you can reinvest that into an area where maybe you're not as overloaded as we are at fullback. Luke Shaw, Brandon Williams, Ethan Laird, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Timothy Fosu-Mensah. We've got all these players that can play at fullback at the moment, including Diogo Dalot. And maybe if United had to shift a few players on, you hear about Smalling maybe being one, Philip Jones, Marcus Rojo. But actually, Diogo Dalot would probably be worth more than all of them, or at least about the same value as Chris Smalling. And it could be an area where Manchester United could raise funds. I'd be sad to see him go. I like him. I think he's a good lad. And I think, he's building that little bromance with Bruno Fernandes and all that. But ultimately, football is a ruthless game. Ultimately, if Manchester United need to raise funds and Diogo Dalot isn't going to get the game time that he wants and he deserves, then he's going to have to, for the betterment of his career, go elsewhere. So it's an interesting one to see how this develops. I do think there's something in it, but I don't think it's something of, you know what, Ollie's like, oh yeah, Diogo Dalot's on the transfer list. Sorry, Diogo, you have to get out of here. I don't think it's that case at all. I don't think it's like that. And we heard about Robin van Persie. I seen a clip of him today. I don't know when it was from. It was from an interview with Jay Humphries where he's talking about Louis van Gaal and how ruthless he was with him. And you think about what Van Persie had done for the club. Now, I don't believe you need to be that ruthless with players, but football is a ruthless business. And if United need to raise funds, Dalot sees that he's going to get more game time elsewhere, even if that's at Spurs or whatever, then he will want to leave and United will want to sell. But I don't think it's a case of United shopping him around. I don't think that would be the case. I don't have a problem with Diogo Dalot actually in our squad. And I wouldn't mind him staying in the squad, but I can see where this could become a thing because of the money he could raise. Guys, thank you for joining us in the comments today on AdamMcKola TV. We've got Kofius, James, Kola, Ina, Zahid, Dimes, Gavin Sweeney is a member as well. Filth, Two Tiers, Damian Brown, Cannonballers back in the house. Matt Cress back in the house. Joe, Iconish, Akshmi, Tom Walton. We got loads of you guys in the house today, so thank you very much for joining us. Jaguar, K Murphy, Brian, as well. I'll be reading some of your comments out, sorry, in a little while. Just like Sami Ahmed saying, I'd rather have Ethan Laird, to be honest. And Junior Meninga, saying Laird is better. FIFA FC says, I want him to stay because he should be a backup player if Aaron gets injured or needs a rest. And whilst I agree with that, much like the other fellas have said, if Ethan Laird does come through, although Ethan Laird has had his injury worries, and imagine you let Diogo Dalot go, and then you try and replace him with an academy player that has injury issues and he's injured, then what happens? So it'd be a tricky one for United, but nevertheless, Diogo Dalot, it's one that I'm on the fence about, but I could very seriously see it happening. Cannonballer says it's the effing Sun reporting this. It's obviously bollocks. It wasn't just the Sun reporting this. I've seen a few others reporting it as well. And whilst you say that, the Sun reporting it is bollocks. There were other reports not long ago. Remember when we did the video on Mourinho potentially raiding United, and that wasn't from the Sun. And that was a story regarding Diogo Dalot again there as well. So whilst I agree with you, and it's just rumours at this moment in time, I actually think there's a possibility that this could be one that is on United's mind in terms of possibly happening. So that's what I think about that. But I hear you, bro. I hear you. Bean Player, who is the latest member on AdamMcKola TV and the 30th member on AdamMcKola TV. Thank you for joining us in the comments, and thank you for joining us on AdamMcKola TV. I really appreciate everybody that has joined us and the support that you're giving the channel at this moment in time. If you want to find out more, click that join button. It's got a list of the perks that you'll get if you join and help support the cause. I'm not going to go into it right now because we've got so much to talk about right here on AdamMcKola TV and on the United Daily Live. And later on today as well, I've got a great Master Debaters coming up for you guys. A fantastic one coming up with myself, Dave, Cheeky Sport Dave, you may know him as, or David Alorca. He's everywhere, isn't he? And Frimp Online. Now, you must know who Frimps is. He's obviously in the Coca-Cola advert that I was in, representing Arsenal. But also, you see his team talks and things like that. And I know Arsenal fans get a bad rep, but I think Frimps is a great lad. And he's on it. Dave's on it. I'm special guest referee. And we're debating some of the United versus Arsenal topics that we have all debated over the years. The Fergie Wenger, the Keane Vieira, the Rude versus Henry. And you guys will be having the final say and the final vote. And you guys can obviously, vote based on the arguments. We all know we're biased towards Man United, but both lads absolutely got stuck in, and it was a great Master Debaters. And it's the kind of reason why I've made that show, to have a little bit of fun with friends of ours on the channel. You know what I mean? I've got a platform, I've got a channel. Hopefully it can grow. And hopefully I can get more of my mates on to enjoy the ride as well. The press are getting desperate for stories, says Jenny. If he was British, he would keep him. This really pisses me off, says Matt Trustain. Why did Joe do a show in Grealish this morning? What's that news? So the news regarding Jack Grealish at this moment in time is, Joe has said that he will be back. 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 He will Laurie Whitwell in The Athletic said, contrary to reports, United are actually still in for Jack Grealish. And Bleacher Report also did a story, I believe it was Bleacher Report, let me just check. I was reading it on United Report, where they said that, let me just find that right now. So they say Bleacher Report reported there is a really good chance Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish both join Manchester United. They are the club's top priorities. United dream of a front three of Martial, Jadon Sancho and Rashford. And United are selling to a deal to Jadon Sancho based on the heritage and tradition of the club, giving him the number 7, making him the poster boy. And if he was to select his transfer move right now, it would be to Manchester United. So that's where that kind of Jack Grealish stuff comes from. The Athletic and the Bleacher Report reporting that United were actually still in for him. Brian, I see Cannonballer's got it there. But yeah, you just click that join button if you want. You don't have to, like I said. But yeah, check it out if you fancy it. And it's in the description. Yeah, like. You lot got me covered on here, man. I absolutely appreciate all you lot. It depends on who's reported it for Bleacher Report, which I'll go and check out now as well. But also, Larry Whitwell is I guess I wouldn't say it's tier 1, but is you know, he's going to have it from a reliable-ish source. They could still be wrong. I mean, they can all get things wrong. Do you know what I mean? So these things happen. But I've got a feeling Jack Grealish does depend on Paul Pogba. I still haven't changed my mind about that one. I really do think that's the case with that potential transfer, that it's all on Paul Pogba and whether he leaves Manchester United or not. And at this moment in time, you kind of get the feeling that it is probably not going to leave Manchester United. Yeah, so there's that report again coming up on news now at the moment. Jose wants United's best fullback in Europe for £35 million. That was obviously in his words. Fuckface, Sammy Fuckface and the MEN's got another story on Paul Pogba, saying Pogba is technically approaching the last year of his Man United. Alright, fuck that shit. Tell us something we don't know. United have not yet triggered the 1-year extension, remain relaxed about his future. He's technically approaching the last year of his deal, but United have the option to add an additional year's time to the club to 2022. United's decision to delay the extension has allowed Pogba's agent to spin the narrative that Pogba is out of contract next year amid interest from Real Madrid and Juventus. The MEN understands United have not exercised the 1-year option in Pogba's contract to quell speculation. Senior United sources concede Real is very, very interesting. What is this? What is this article about? It's full of shit. Guys, don't click on this article, please. It's full of shit. It's absolute full of shit. There's nothing there. It's nothing there. It's literally... I sound like Claude there, no? There's nothing there. There's literally nothing there. Fuck face. Samuel Lockhurst, the rat. Sancho could have a Cantona like... Oh, no. Stop comparing people that have just come on the block to my legends, man. I don't know what people are playing at here. As you can see, I've got my laptop here. I'm not reading your comments thinking, what the fuck are you lot talking about? That would be a really mad United Daily Live show, wouldn't it? It would have really got worse then. How you doing, Jay? I'm doing well, thank you very much. I'm trying to keep sane by doing all these videos and keeping regular content coming on the channel. How are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. I know it's a tricky time for everyone at the moment, so if I can take your mind off it for half an hour of the day at 12 o'clock and then with an upload in the evening, I'll try and do my best to do that on most days. So keep it locked to AdamMcKola TV. Has Gomez signed a new deal, says Grubby Muffin. At the moment, there's no confirmed news in regards to it. We heard reports the other week and we covered them on AdamMcKola TV that he had made his mind up to stay at United, but as of yet, there's been no deal signed. Prime Mark Viduka, what a baller he was. Yeah, Manav is an absolute scumbag. He's got the worst reputation ever. I didn't realise it was his article until I clicked on it. Deboji says he likes, or she likes, Dalot. And what if Wan-Bissaka gets injured as we need Dalot to cover, says Justin. Yeah, that's obviously a concern. And when you think about it, United have Ethan Laird, Brandon Williams, who can play on the right and the left of fullback position. So they would have them, but like you say, they wouldn't have any primed and ready to go. Because we can't really. Yes, Ethan Laird has been great for the academy team, but he has had his injury issues, and he's only yet to make 2 small appearances for United's first team. So we need to see where he's going to go. C Squared says Diogo's not done enough to warrant being sold. I agree with that. Sachin says he can play right wing as well, and I think a lot of it comes down to his flexibility in terms of where he can play. He can play at right wing, he can play at right back, and that obviously helps. He can also play on the left too. I like him though. It's difficult when you start getting chucked into all these different positions. Daniel Creedon says, would you get Grealish or a holding midfielder? Now, from a sensible point of view, if Paul Pogba stays, United by a right winger, a defensive midfielder is required. But I love Jackie Grealish, and I wouldn't mind just signing him at all. So I say Jack Grealish. We'll just beat everyone 6-5, yeah? That sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? Let's see what other stories. No, he never compared Cantona to Sancho. He's daft, but I don't think he's that daft. I was just reading the headlines as I scrolled down news now. But yeah, guys, Manchester United have been linked with a possible sale of Diogo Dalot, and AdamMcKola again has been touted as a potential cheaper option to Kalidou Koulibaly, because obviously it cost around 40 million quid. So United have been linked with a move for him again, and again it kind of points at, when you've got so many fullbacks as United do, you have Timbo who can play right back, Wan-Bissaka, you got Brandon, Ethan, Luke Shaw. When you've got all these fullbacks and Diogo Dalot, and potentially you could sell Smalling and Jones and Rojo, you probably think, all right, let's invest in another centre half with those funds. But who knows? Daz thinks Dalot isn't good enough. Could a loan spell away be an option for Dalot? Gets regular game time and we don't lose a good prospect, says Suraj. I think the issue is that when you see Aaron Wan-Bissaka as your long-term right back, and you expect him to be there for 4, 5, 6 years, who knows, maybe even longer. How is it even, like, you send him out on loan, you're still paying probably a large part of his wages. Will he ever really come back and play for you, no matter how well he does? So I'm not too sure. Like, I think if he does leave, he leaves in a sale, because that's a way where United can raise money. Yes, Ollie's coming out saying we're going to be exploiting teams and trying to take advantage of the transfer market, but also at the same time, we're a business, and we only normally spend around 150 to maybe 200 million max in a transfer window. Last summer it was net around 70. We spent obviously 40 odd in the last transfer window, the January transfer window. And when we spend this transfer window, you got to look at it. Probably 100 million is already going to be spent on Jadon Sancho. That's a big fee. If you want to sign Igalo or another striker, you're looking at potentially another 20, 30, 40 million. Let's say Igalo at 20, 120 million there. Then if you want a Grealish, if you want a AdamMcKola, or you want to bring someone in defensive holding midfield, whatever position you call it, then you're going to have to sell a few players. It's not going to be realistic to expect us to just go out and buy 3, 4, 5 players without having to sell players like Diogo Dalot. It's a possibility. I don't think we'll sign 4 or 5 players anyway. Two Tier says, do we really need a CDM more than Grealish? We have Matic, McSauce and Fred. I just think none of them, bar Matic, are really natural in defensive midfield. Whilst at home they could do a job in some games at home where we're going to dominate possession. If Matic isn't fit or available, or he needs a rest, and we're going an away game to a big, a difficult side, McTominay or Fred in DM isn't. I think McTominay is the better of the two, and I think he can obviously improve as he has done over this last season. But I don't think DM's his most natural position. The good thing with him though is he takes instruction while he does a job. Prince says Dalot's presence is good for the dressing room with Bruno, Fred, etc. And especially if João Felix ain't going to come, bro. I don't think that one's going to happen. Alisco's in the house. Joel Cox says, Adam, if we get Grealish and Sancho, the England team would have 5 or 6 players in it. That'd be nuts. How you doing, Josh? Thank you for joining us here on AdamMcKola TV. Imagine that. It'd be a good England side as well. It wouldn't be a shit one. It'd be Jack Grealish should have played for England already. It's an absolute disgrace that he hasn't done. I think Gareth Southgate's a little bit overhyped in terms of what he's done for England. He's done well, but I think could do a lot better. And I think you've got to start introducing the likes of Maddison and Grealish into that team. I think he relies way too much on bog standard bang average players like Declan Rice and Winks and Eric Dyer and all of them, man. Really, you should just have Jordan Henderson sitting and 2 ballers in your team. And you don't have them. He'd rather play 3 workhorses. For me, Jack Grealish, James Maddison should already be a big part of that England team with Harry Kane, Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford and Raheem Sterling going forward. But they're not. Taron says, I'd give Dalot another season. When we play 5 at the back, I think Dalot is well suited to right wing back. And Wan-Bissaka could play at right centre back. Also try him, I think he means Dalot at right wing. He's very versatile. And I agree with that in terms of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We could potentially play that kind of Kyle Walker role at right centre back. I think he has the attributes to do it. That's not to say I don't think he's a good enough. I think he's good enough at right back. I'm not suggesting he has to move. Like I think Luke Shaw, I think the people have been a little bit. I don't know how to put it. His best games came at left centre back. We want a left back. We don't want Luke Shaw to be a centre back. We want him to be a left back. At left back, I feel like Brandon Williams is better than him, and I'm doing something on that today with Joe and the lads from Paddock. Someone mentioned Ben White in the comments, and United and City are interested in Brighton's Ben White. Liverpool have also tracked him according to The Athletic. So, again, take that as you will. Someone asked for, I think it was Manav, for an update on Jude Bellingham. Again, in that Bleacher Report article, we saw Borussia Dortmund had given Jude Bellingham an interesting decision to make. But all the signs right now were suggesting he would choose Manchester United. And that's another player that could potentially come in. Ross says, would you loan Bellingham if you got him? I'm not sure. Do you spend as much money as we would on a player and just send him straight out on loan? Unless that's part of the deal with Birmingham City. I'm not too sure on that one. I'm not sure you would do that. Cannonballer says, trust Luke Shaw. He will come good. If we get a decent amount for Dalot, then we must sell him. So Vishal, as he's injury prone, Jose would take him happily. Grealish walks into the England squad as soon as he signs. Lingard will never play for England again. Says 2 tears in a bucket. United should probably buy a left back if you ask me, says Pramod. You don't think Laird, Williams, Shaw's good enough going forward? I don't mind Luke Shaw as a backup, contrary to what I was just saying, but first choice, I'm not sure about that one. Excuse the pun. I'm glad though that we're hearing reports United are still in for Jack Grealish. As much as they could possibly be bullshit, and as logic to me says we're not going to sign him, as much as I think we are interested in him and we have tracked him and we have probably spoken to his agent, I don't feel like we're going to sign Jack Grealish, and I wish we were. And that's why I'm happy about these rumours today, but who knows? How much do you see Dalot going for, says Jen? I reckon you could get 25 mil for him. 25, 30 million euros maybe. I think that could happen. Guys, get hitting that like button. Come on. Nearly 250 in here and we got 44 likes. Get hitting that like button. Get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing. and of course get it locked into AdamMcKola TV. We're here every single day with new content. We got Master Debaters coming up for you today, 5, 6 or 7 o'clock. When shall I upload it? I'm not too sure, but I'll upload it around that time, probably 6 o'clock I'll go with. So we'll get Master Debaters out for then. Obviously United Daily Live, it goes again tomorrow, and then we've got the Weekly United after that. Friday, United Daily Live again at 12 o'clock, and then after that we have got straight up MUFC in the evening with myself and Dean. Saturday we've got some FIFA content, and of course United Daily Live in the morning. Sunday, United Daily Live and the Pod to Nowhere. I'm also releasing a tier list video this week of the full squad. So I know we're talking about potential players going and coming and all that good stuff, but I've got the first team squad from Manchester United's website. So I'm only using the one from their website. I'm using the one from their website, and we're doing a little tier list. Brum, you can suck it, mate. Feel free to. I'll do you a favour, bro. I'll do you a favour. See you later. Nice one, China. Appreciate that. Never watched a video of yours without liking it. Best United channel for me, and I do appreciate that, and I appreciate every single one of you for getting involved. You haven't got my Perlo shirt. Who's got a Perlo shirt? Which one is it? AC, Inter, all that good stuff. Dalot for Kane. We'd have to chuck a bit of money on top of that, wouldn't we, Sachin? Whack says Ethan Laird. That's all it says. Just Ethan Laird. Nice. A fair point, but you need them Nevilles and O'Shea's and Browns. You do indeed. You do need those kind of squad players. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, you know, we've got a few of them in the squad now that will be valuable members of the squad going forward. I think when you look at us potentially buying Jadon Sancho, Daniel James then becomes a very, very valuable member of the squad. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think you still get 30 to 40 games a season, maybe more, being a valuable member of the squad. You can still contribute to us hopefully winning trophies. But United sides have been built on quality foundations and quality squad members like McTominay, Daniel James, people that work their bollocks off and keep everybody on their toes and keep everybody, you know, training hard and all that. Because if you've got them, man, playing and fighting for your spot, you're going to be on the edge. You're going to be working hard all the time. They'll keep the likes of, you know, Brunos and Pogbas and that maybe think, yeah, I'm starting every single week. Well, actually, if there's only 3 places up for grabs, and Matic and Fred and McTominay and Pogba and Bruno and all fighting it out for it, and we got James Garner and Dylan Levitt, competition for places becomes massive. And we saw how that possibly had an impact on Anthony Martial's performances with the arrival of Odion Ighalo. Especially when Marcus Rashford then went out and he didn't have that foil to work off. We saw an improvement in his play. Not only tactically were we able to do different things, but maybe that competition brought it out of him. I think we saw Luke Shaw's better performances whilst they were at left centre-back. It was when Brandon Williams came into the side and started competing and started playing at full-back that Luke Shaw's performance increased as well. Bruno Fernandes arriving, bringing that quality, bringing those demands, bringing that enthusiasm, lifts everybody in the dressing room. And you heard about Marcus Rashford talking about Zlatan and the way he was and the way that made him learn about certain things. And that's what good players do to each other. They help improve each other. They, what is it? Steel sharpens steel. And that's exactly what they'll be doing in there. And we need the squad to improve. Jadon Sancho coming in will improve everybody around if he comes in. I don't know why I'm saying that like it's a done deal. If you watched Rumour Rater yesterday, I kind of hinted at it. But yeah, go and check that out. I don't want to ruin it for you. Don't worry, Jay. These videos will continue coming every single time. They will continue. Chief Leave says he just ordered the shirt that I am wearing. Looks brilliant, man. Nice one, bro. Thank you very much. I made the green and gold one for somebody that wanted it. There's a green and gold version of this up as well now. I haven't been able to add it to the YouTube part yet. But if you go on the link, you'll be able to find it. But nice one, Chief Leaf. I think you're like the 3rd person to have one. Someone bought a sweatshirt. Someone bought a t-shirt. You're now the fourth person after, third after me, but yeah, fourth after me, if you include me, to have got one. I've got this one and the white one. I need to order the green and gold one now. But I'm loving the way they came out. Not bad, is it? Anyway, back to the real stuff and back to the football. And United possibly selling Diogo Dalot. Let us know what you guys are thinking about that one in the comments below. And make sure you're keeping it locked to AdamMcKola TV. We appreciate every single last one of you. We hit 30 members, so thank you for you guys for doing that. I didn't expect to hit it that quickly, so thank you very much. And I know you've had a 30. Mac, what are you talking about? Mate, 30 is a lot more than I expected. So thank you very much. And the content is always going to be free as well. This stuff, I know you get exclusive stuff if you become a member, but this stuff is always going to be free because it has to be. We need to give the people then something to watch at home. So thank you for watching AdamMcKola TV. Make sure you like and comment and share and subscribing and join. Keep it locked. I'm out of it.